Right there, hold on. Oh, no, sir.
That clip probably should come with a warning because it could cause like seizures and photosensitivity. You see that all the time now. I mean, my God, you had to be ready for that.
Mess up your equilibrium.
Oh my God,
right there.
Oh my God, especially a guy just 9 weeks removed from severe vertigo. It may come back after watching that. So that was huge. Yesterday was a bad day. If you pick games, yesterday was a bad day because games that we were fairly confident about, like 49ers, Cardinals, we'll talk about that coming up, but I was fairly confident about the Seahawks.
Yeah.
The one caveat I raised, because we both picked the Giants to cover.
Right.
The Giants had the extended Thursday to Sunday.
Right.
And the Seahawks had the hard-fought Monday night game on the road, and that may have been a factor in this one.
Yeah, I do think it's a factor, let alone the Seahawks, right? Short week, already a beat-up football team, and having to deal with that. I think one of the things I said when we broke down the game last week, I said, I think the Giants can move the ball. I just don't think they're going to win the shootout or whatever. Well, they won the shootout. I know we're doing superlatives here, and my superlatives is, am I high? Am I high?
Well, I don't know.
Well,
is it the answer to that question?
Could be,
yes.
according to what time of the day it is, and I'm not right now, okay? I'm totally sober and ready to go. But 420? They got 420 yards on offense.
I see what you're doing. I got you. Yeah.
And they were in Seattle, where it's a little grungy. I was trying to tie it all together. Maybe
it's
not
good.
that funny. Okay, good.
No, it's not bad.
All right,
I give
all
it
right.
to you. But yes, the answer, I just would assume if you asked me that question at any given time, yes.
Am I high now? Yeah.
But no, I know.
I'm high on life. I'm high on the
know.
Giants' offense right now.
You know what? I'm not being accurate. I know when you're high.
Yeah.
When Happy Chris shows up.
That's right.
I know
I'm happy
Chris.
right now.
I know. No, there's a different. There's a different Happy Chris.
Stats right here. I'm Happy Chris, the G-Man. But it was a great performance by their offense. First off, I think you got to understand how the game started. The fact that they went right down the football field and in the most Giants dysfunctional way we can imagine, fumble on a play that looks like we might have scored, but there was no great angle to really see the ball. Fumble, the Seahawks pick it up and return it 100 yards for a touchdown. So that's how the day started. And you were like, oh my gosh, the Giants, is it just going to be this kind of year where it's just we're always going to mess up and trip over our own feet and all that? But after that, man, the G-Men dominated this football game. They controlled the football game. There was a late surge by the Seahawks. I know that, and I couldn't even believe it that they were lining up to tie the game late in the football game. That was amazing. But Daniel Jones played great. They ran the ball really well. All right? And you see Daniel Jones, again, it's not going to be wow. It's not going to be Lamar Jackson or Mahomes. I get it. But he is a pretty good decision maker. Intermediate throws. He's a very good thrower of the football in those situations, and we saw yesterday him throw the deep ball better, which sometimes comes under scrutiny here in New York. So that was good to see, certainly. He was good. It was a good, complete team effort. Their defense was very impressive throughout. And the one thing I'll say about the Giants, they do have a defensive front that can cause some problems for teams.
And to do it without Malik Neighbors.
Exactly.
And
right.
it's concerning because he had that concussion the Thursday night of Week 4, missed the Week 5 game. Usually we see guys get back for the next game, and everyone's different, but it's his first NFL concussion, so it's something to pay attention to because it really wasn't. I remember watching the game.
Yeah, it wasn't that egregious.
I didn't get a concussion.
I hear
usually
you.
you see like Josh Allen falling down and hitting his head on the ground. You
Right.
see the thing that makes you say, now I know why the guy has a concussion. All right, I'm going to go with, and this is a nod to the fact that 7 years ago.
Are we moving to the next game, or are you still going to the Giants? Okay. I wasn't sure if you were about to come up with some.
We've said enough about the Giants.
One thing, too. We'll
talk about the Giants next week,
We do have to give Isaiah Simmons incredible props for the block field goal.
And all these Seahawks fans are like, that's illegal. It's only illegal if he touches the guy.
Yes.
You're allowed to jump over.
Right.
And he did.
You're allowed to jump over, and you're allowed to jump over right from when you're lined up on the line of scrimmage. You can't take a running start and jump over. He did everything correct.
The right way.
You need to be a freak show to do what you did, what Isaiah Simmons did there. Let me stand there over a guard who's a 320-pound human being, and let me do a 40-inch vertical over him, not touch him, then hit the ground real quick and jump up again to block the field goal.
And then blow up the kicker.
Right. Phenomenal play. Yeah. I mean, it really was, and great job by Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah, so the Giants moved to 2-3, and they will face the Bengals on Sunday Night Football. Okay, so this is a nod to the fact that 7 years ago when we first were doing this, Sam Darnold was the hot quarterback coming into the college football season, the presumptive number 1 overall pick, even though it ended up being Baker Mayfield, and you constantly called him Sam Darnold. Darno. I'm going to call him Sam Dar. Yes. And here's why. This is why I will be cautiously optimistic that this 5-0 start is different from 2016.
Okay.
3 games now, 3 times out of 5.
Yeah.
Multi-score lead becomes a 1-score lead in the fourth quarter.
Okay.
And when that happened, every game,
they
Darnold settles it down and leads them on a scoring
Right.
drive. And in the first 2 games against the 49ers and the Packers, he made it a 2-score game again. What did he do yesterday? He made a 3-point game a 6-point game, forcing the Jets to try to score a touchdown, and they couldn't. They could have gotten the field goal, but they couldn't get the touchdown.
Wait.
And the offense was, I mean, without Aaron Jones, and I'm told he'll be fine for week 7 against the Lions.
Okay.
Without Aaron Jones, that offense wasn't the same.
Wait, are you telling me you believe?
Is that what
I'm
you're
saying?
I'm telling you right now. I'll pick the Lions to win. I'll pick the Lions to win.
You probably bumped the Vikings down a spot in the power rankings
Maybe I
this
should.
week.
They should have beaten the Jets worse.
Oh, that's right. I can't be happy that they're damn good this year. Now they gotta beat everybody better.
It is amazing that they did what they did to Aaron Rodgers, who came into the game with a 57-8 touchdown to interception ratio against them. It's the best ratio since the merger, at least against one team.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's him. Yeah, I didn't know that at first.
And threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter, including his 6th career pick 6, which ties him for 170th on the all-time list with Sam Darnold.
Yep.
So, and that Van Ginkel, I talked to Van Ginkel after the game, and it's funny when they don't want to share the secret sauce, but they kind of let it out.
Right.
The film study, and they did the rope-a-dope.
Yeah.
They showed blitz, and they broke their own tendency, and he dropped back, and Aaron Rodgers threw it right to him.
Right. I mean, listen, Aaron Rodgers can still throw the ball. You're seeing the highlights here. I mean, come on, that's vintage Aaron Rodgers. That's certainly special and all that. But there's still problems here with the Jets overall and Aaron Rodgers and their attack. You see the interception here. Here's the 3rd interception. And, Mike, it goes to your point. Predictability everywhere on the Jets offense. And it is because of Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't want shifts. He doesn't want motions. How many times have you heard me make fun of Aaron Rodgers and his love for the slant route or the 3-yard route, right? You know me. You hear me over the last few weeks, the Broncos game, the game yesterday. I know what Aaron Rodgers is about to audible to and do in certain situations. I've watched him so much throughout the year. So you don't think Brian Flores, who's sitting there in front of a film, in front of the TV screen 20 hours a day watching it, they weren't ready for that crap, right? That's the problem. There's got to be more to that offense. They can't just line up and go, oh, we think Aaron will just get us in the right play. Right. There's an old saying of like, you never blitz Peyton Manning. You don't blitz Tom Brady. They've seen it all. Aaron Rodgers, he's seen every defense ever thrown at him. He'll know it. Yeah, but his answers to that, all the defenses have seen all that basic bullcrap before too. And that's Aaron Rodgers' bullcrap that he wants to do. That's the problem. They don't bring any new angle that scares defenses away from doing what they normally do because they go, wait, if we blitz, we kind of know what he'll do. If we don't blitz, we kind of know what he'll do. And then his inability to hold the ball and throw the ball down the field and do any of that, and them having to throw the ball that many times, 54 times or 244. Come on, that's not sustainable with the Jets. That was not good yesterday. Their defense played good enough to win it. Their offense stunk it up.
The other thing, too, that amazes me, especially because we know how sensitive Aaron Rodgers is, and we know how careful he is with his words. Like, anytime somebody asks him a question, you can see that he's running it through almost like when you get a attachment to an email and it has a virus scan. Like, he has every question run through his own personal virus scan. What's the trap in here? What are they trying to get? That's an interesting question. Like, all these little things to... Like, what are you trying to do to me here?
Yeah.
And for somebody who is that sensitive to appearances, man, he had bad body language and demeanor yesterday. It's almost like they don't know a camera's on them.
From the start.
And I'm surprised they turned that into a game. And that's the biggest concern I have with the Vikings is special teams. Their special teams has screwed them multiple times this year. It allowed the Packers back into the game last week with what the hell was that? Jalen Naylor trying to field a punt
catch
up
the
over
ball in
his
the
head.
sun, right?
And there was a roughing the kicker penalty yesterday, and almost a disaster early where a guy got blocked into the to Brandon Powell, but the ball hit the Jets player first. Their special teams needs to get ironed up, except for their field goal kicker. But Aaron Rodgers looked like a beaten man, looked like he was disinterested. He looked like he didn't want to be there. And, I mean, this is the product of years, like 90 years between the two of us of watching games, and you see the quarterback on the field. You see the guy who's not bothered. You see the guy who's always smiling like Jaden Daniels. Dak Prescott, the guy who's unaffected.
Yeah, right.
And then you see Aaron Rodgers, who just looks like he's sour and dour and wants to go home.
Yeah.
And that's what he looked like yesterday. He looked old.
Disagree.
And I mean, that's okay. I'm old, and I look old. He looked old. He's an old 40. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
He just looks weathered and worn out,
right,
and not the guy that he was a few years ago.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And again, you miss a year of football, you get a year older, right? It's like you lose a little skills that you're like, wait, I could do this 2 years ago, but I'm not quite as fast. You have an injury on top of that, right? My big thing about him coming in the year was, can Aaron Rodgers play the way Aaron Rodgers thinks he can play? And my answer through 5 weeks is no, he cannot. They need to change what they do on the offensive side of the ball. They can't just empower him to go, run it and just do whatever you do, Aaron. He's not the kind of guy that's just going to carry the team anymore. He's not that type of talent at the age of 40. And he's not willing to, like the great quarterbacks who carry the team, let me dodge a guy in the pocket, let me sit here a little longer and wait for a guy down the field to come open. His is, wait, is the guy wide open? And if he's not, let me throw it short real quick because I don't want to get hit and I don't want anything to happen there. You can't win the Super Bowl that way. You might be able to get in the playoffs with this football team, certainly, because they're talented. We know that. But you're not going to beat the quality football teams in this game with that conservative passing approach that they have. And it's got to change up to make some defenses think a little bit. I mean, it's either jam a ball 5 yards over the middle on a slant or some little stick route, or it's throw a little swing route to Garrett Wilson over here, or it's a one-on-one fade back shoulder. It's the only three things they do on offense, really. And it's Aaron freaking Rodgers, who has a great arm, and it's being wasted because he doesn't want to push the ball down the field. Can we block it up and let Garrett Wilson run down the field and run a deep out, a deep comeback, do something like that? They're frustrating to watch, and a lot of it is because of Rodgers, and this is the offense he wants to run.
I'm a firm believer that, for me personally,
yeah,
I'd rather be wrong in something I did than in something I didn't do.
Right.
And so I respect the fact that Aaron Rodgers decided when the writing was on the wall that it was done for him in Green Bay to not just walk away, to try something different.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. This isn't an occasion to say I told you so. But I think the fair assessment a year and a half in is probably should have just walked off into the sunset. And I wonder how much of his darkness retreat fueled decision-making was, I want to stick it to the Packers.
Yeah. Right.
And if you remove that from the equation,
would he still be playing?
Yeah,
I hear you there. I do think the Packers situation lit a fire on them. I want to prove them wrong. I'm going to show them, do that. And is that the right reasons? I don't know. We'll see where it goes. It's still early on in the football season, certainly.
Oh, yeah, it can it can change, but you're not going to – there's no Ponce de Leon out there.
No.
There's no fountain of youth he's going to stumble into. It's only going to get worse because what happened? He came into the game with the sore knee. They added Adrian Martinez from the practice squad to have an extra quarterback around because they're concerned. They don't just do that spontaneously. They hadn't done it all year. And then he had that moment where he looked like he was messed up, and he's got a low ankle sprain.
Right.
And they turn around and play on Monday night. This becomes cumulative. It's a lot of wear and tear for a guy who had 4 snaps of meaningful football from January of 2023 until less than a month ago. He's played 5 games in less than a month.
Yes. This is not sustainable with what's going on as much as he's being hit. And that's why I also say they got to readjust with what they want to do and how they want to play. They do. He's getting beat up too much. And like I said, with the way he wants the offense run and the protections and the routes they run, teams are going to be all over this stuff. And he's going to put himself in harm's way in positions like this that are scary. So I hope they can find some new wrinkles and some new ways to attack on the offensive side of the ball, because him in the shotgun, throwing it 54 times and just dinking dunking it ain't going to do anything as far as getting the Jets fans and that Jets organization where they want to go, when it's all said and done. And they got some work to do on that offense because their defense was the first defense that gave the Vikings offense a problem this year. Their defense is on a different level even than the Texans and even than the 49ers. The Jets defense is incredibly talented. They really are. But the offense has got to start showing up and helping them out a little bit.
Should they pull the trigger on Devontae Adams?
Oof. I would say, I think it helps right now. But I don't know if it helps them big picture-wise. And I do think there could be problems on the horizon. Garrett Wilson spouted off last week.
Closer than the horizon.
Yeah.
Because that's what I said last week.
Yeah.
You've got Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard, and Mike Williams. Somebody's the odd man out. It's either going to be Wilson or Williams because it ain't going to be BFF number 2. BFF 1 is coming through the door in Adams. BFF 2 isn't going anywhere.
Garrett Wilson, I think if you get Devontae Adams, has a chance to just lose his shit. Yeah. I'm sorry. Because he's going to go, what? Like, what? I'm your first-round pick. I'm your top 10 pick. I've been waiting for an offense and you to feature me, and now we're going to trade for this guy, and all I do is run slants and flat routes, and now you're going to give Devontae Adams all the throws, and I think you're asking for problems there. And of course, you're mortgaging the future and according to what you might have to pay for Adams too, right?
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.